The Viktor Gyökeres deal has just become a lot more complicated, but I would not panic. And because it's quite normal over in Portugal to do this kind of thing. Does anyone remember Ruben Amorim and Sporting wanted a little bit more money than his release clause? Anyone? It's only recent, but there's more than that as well. But please smash the like button. We're going to be going through this whole drama alert from what the president has said from Sporting Lisbon. So the like target would be 150 to 200. If you can do that for me, I will love you. And as much as I want to love Gyökeres, we'll see if that's going to happen or not. Anywho, Manchester United have been chasing Gyökeres for... excuse me, hay fever, for quite a while now and been in quite frequent contact. He is a player that I definitely do want, where there's been a lot of discourse around his footballing abilities, and I don't see why. What? Because you've got PTSDs with Darwin Nunez and Hoyland when he's 10 times the player. Anyways, not the point. We've been chasing him, and Arsenal have also been in the hunt for him as well, but they have gone a different route. Does this complicate things for Manchester United is probably the question everyone is asking themselves. And the question is probably, the answer, is probably not. And the reason for being that, because, well, we were chasing 60 plus 10, right? 70 million valuation in terms of euros, which is about, what, 62 million pounds? And all of a sudden, the president exactly wants a little bit more. So if he wants a little bit more, I'm pretty sure that we can definitely fetch a price after sales have been made. And that's not like it's unknown either. So the 80 million euros mark, well, it's not exactly that much more, is it? You have to add on another 7 million pounds more, going close to the 70 million pound fee. Something close to Benjamin Sesko. But here's what the Sporting president had to say in full as well, so you lot are not missing out. He released a stunning statement about the target Viktor Gyökeres following recent media speculation. Now, I tried to take 3 days off. I came back yesterday. I saw so much information and counter information that is only fair to come and explain the process. It started last year when the 23-24 season ended and Sporting become national champions. During the transfer market, we saw that he was going to stay because there was no offer. The agent spoke to us and added some clauses. Hugo Viana, if people don't know, he went to Manchester City recently, as he always did and did very well, managed a relationship with the agents. This relational space is established with the sports director. One of the agent's biggest concerns was whether we would demand a termination clause. Hugo Viana negotiated with the agents over several meetings until the agent demanded the presence of the president. At this meeting, which included the president, the agent and Viana, Gyökeres was not present. He wanted to guarantee certain things. And what was agreed? That Sporting would not demand a release clause now. For one reason, he was going to be 27 years old, and no player leaves Portugal at 27 for 100 or 90 million euros. Good news, right? In that same meeting, the agent wanted to anchor the exit to a value. I said this sentence: it's not worth us setting a value because I don't know what will happen in a year's time. I don't know if it's going to be 40, 60, 80 million euros. What I can guarantee is that I will not demand 100 million euros. From then on, I spoke to the agent again. I never spoke to the player about departures of values. Now I see the agent in the press releasing information. I want to make one thing clear: Sporting has common sense and keeps its word. And then he goes, basically, in the end, yada yada yada. Now, blackmail, insult, Sporting will not accept. One thing is certain: Sporting will not accept 60 million plus 10 million in euros. As of today, Sporting has not received any proposal for Gyökeres. So that is the news. And whether you want to see good news or bad news, or whichever way you want to flip it, is the fact that, well, 70 million euros is not going to cut it. And 60 million base fee of euros, aka 50 odd million pounds, I think is about 54, 55. Well, that's not going to cut it either. So if Man United want the player, then they better get a move on in terms of valuation. The best thing is that it's not going to be 100 million. Basically, let's do this in pounds now because we don't want to confuse anyone. 85 million pounds is not going to be the asking price. But in the same breath, 65 million pounds is not what's going to get accepted. Now, it's pretty similar to most deals in the world. You know, in Bumo, they want something close to Cunha. Now, Gyökeres, if you're seeing in one breath that someone a lot younger that hasn't scored as much goals in a league where it's not that much different. To be really honest, it is. You're gonna want to fetch pretty much the same kind of price, and you know what? I think it's fair. A lot of United fans that are watching this probably saying, "How is that fair?" But I'm thinking, well, he's one of the best in the world, isn't he? When it comes to finishing, I don't think wanting something around the mark of 80 million euros or 70 million pounds on that figure, I don't think that's unfair. I think United just need to get a little bit creative when the time comes. No offer's been made. When will the offer be made? That's the bigger question. So we got a lot of time, and I feel like this one is going to get dragged into July. I think there's no rush on that spectrum either, even though we need to get a move on with our squad in general. But who knows what's going to happen there? Now, there's a lot of outrage around this, and I don't understand why. The one that's really that's in the hot seat is obviously Gyökeres, but more so it's his agent. And this is the funny old game about agents wanting to do their thing so they can go get their client and move on. And you know what? Who remembers Amrabat's agent? Do you remember how much that dragged out and how much silly that was? Well, that's the same guy who manages manages Viktor Gyökeres. So you can imagine that he's probably made a couple cluster F-ups in recent times. Of course, he wants his payday. I feel like Viktor Gyökeres probably should be looking at a new agent at some point. But, we've dealt with him once before. Different people, though, so maybe we're going to have to deal with him again. Just United need to put the offer down and see what goes on from there. So I wouldn't even think of the whole outrage and be, oh my God, what's going on? We're never going to get him. That's just being a little bit too pessimistic. He's going to add absolute mad value, in my opinion, to Manchester United's lineup. And if he is the number one, I can guarantee that United are not going to stop chasing him now. I feel like Man United were well informed as well about his situation. And yeah, he might have thrown a tantrum recently, apparently, along the lines of, oh, I vowed to never come back to preseason. I don't want to come back to trading until I get my move. Throwing his, his prams out the trolley. That is not how you say that. It's your toys out the pram or the trolley. Yeah. Anywho, I just done a Saeed, didn't I? Anywho, but yeah. Should smash a like for that one. That's embarrassing. But regardless, I feel like he's going to be a Manchester United player at the end of this window. And you know what? The whole chase for Mateta and Osimhen, I feel like you can kiss that dream goodbye. There might be even more loan offers around the table, but I just don't see how United do not want to stop chasing this man. Maybe it's Amrin, maybe it's the club, maybe it's both of them. As long as we go get our central midfielder in and our goalkeeper, I don't think we're really going to give a toss. But I don't think this complicates anything for Man United. If anything, it gives us ammo. Now we know that the player is definitely wanting to leave and he's desperate at that. So it should actually, when it comes to negotiations, something similar to the Garnacho situation, we know the player wants away. So trying to get the value of roughly, let's say, the 80 million euros that they request, it could come something down to 75. Now, that 70 million, what we believed is going to be around 60, 65 million. Yeah, maybe it's just going to be a little bit more. Something similar to in Burma, maybe you just increase the base fee by 5 and the rest in add-ons. I don't think that should be an issue, especially if the sales are meant to go out the window the way they need to. I think United are in a driving seat here. So, yeah, that's just my opinion. Subscribe if you're new. Make sure you smash the likes as well. And more so, hopefully you just enjoy the content in general. Do you think Viktor Gyökeres should be Manchester United's new number 9? And if not, let me know with a name. And if not, how much should we pay for him? Let me know in the comments. Big up to everyone. And we'll be back later tonight.